Good afternoon and welcome to From Where We Are, stories of news and culture through the lens of USC and Southern California. I'm David Sosa coming to you live from Studio B in USC Annenberg's Media Center.
And I'm Malcolm Farrellet. It's Monday, April 13th. On today's show, Eric Swalwell will no longer seek election in the California governor race after recent sexual assault allegations were brought against him. Coachella Weekend 1 is in the books and Weekend 2 is approaching quickly. Sprinkles Cupcakes, a USC staple, is no longer in business, and the LA Times Festival of Books will be on USC's campus this weekend with some special headliners. All this and more on From Where We Are.
But first, today's headlines.
Today, President Trump followed through on his threat to block the Strait of Hormuz, effectively cutting Iran off from continuing the oil exports it relies on. This comes amid the almost week-long ceasefire between the two nations. With this effort, the U.S. hopes to force Iran's hand into accepting its conditions over which the two nations have been at war for over a month.
The Freedom plane, a Boeing 737 carrying 9 American founding documents, has touched down at Van Nuys Airport today as part of an exhibition traveling across the nation. The goal is to keep Americans educated on the founding ideals of the USA. Chief Executive Officer of the National Archives Foundation, Patrick Madden, spoke about the documents.
Our country was founded on ideas, and it's the only country to be founded by ideas, and these are the documents that express those ideas. You can see George Washington signs an oath card that says, yes, I'm not with the king anymore. It's really wild to think that. You can look at a document that is the day that they are debating the Bill of Rights. There was disagreement, but they actually came together and they compromised. And so that's what our nation was founded on, and these documents represent that.
The documents will be on display at the USC Fisher Museum of Art from April 17th through May 3rd as part of the Freedom Plane National Tour. Tickets are free, but must be reserved.
When you think about LA, you think of USC, and great access for the community, great, obviously, student body and alumni base. And so we thought this is a great way, a jumping off point to engage the larger LA community.
The Getty Center, one of LA's esteemed art museums, will be closed from March 2027 through spring 2028 for renovations. The changes are said to include replacing the tram, which carries visitors to the top of the hill where the museum sits.
USC has sold a building it owned in Midtown Sacramento to a dentist for $2.82 million. It was previously used to house a Price School master's program, but the new tenant plans to use it to provide dental care to special needs patients.
A golfer from Northern Ireland, Rory McIlroy, has just won his second Masters title in a row in the Augusta National. This is the first time anybody has pulled off a back-to-back win since Tiger Woods did in 2001 and 2002.
Leading Democrat candidate for California Governor Eric Swalwell suspended his campaign Sunday. The decision comes after Swalwell was accused of sexual assault and misconduct by former staff members. With 2 months until the June primary, what's next for the already wide-open governor's race? Ava Nichols has the story.
Eric Swalwell's future in politics has come to an abrupt stop amid multiple sexual assault and misconduct allegations. Not only did he suspend his campaign for governor on Sunday, but he has now resigned from the U.S. House of Representatives. More than 50 of Swalwell's former staff members have called for him to resign from Congress, resulting in his exit from politics. Swalwell has denied the misconduct allegations and says he plans to fight back against them. Before he left the race for California governor, multiple polls had him pegged as the leading Democratic candidate amid a crowded pool. 2 Republicans, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco and former Fox News host Steve Hilton, have taken the top 2 spots in some recent polls. Kami Akavan is the managing director of USC's Center for Political Future.
Right now, the 2 front runners, based on polling, are 2 Republicans. This is happening in a Democratic state, not just kind of blue, but a very blue state.
But Akavan wonders, who, if anyone, will assume Swalwell's position as the Democratic frontrunner?
It means that the race starts from scratch, basically.
He gives 2 predictors that could help decide the race: money and messaging. In terms of money, Akavan says billionaire philanthropist Tom Steyer, who previously ran for president in 2020, would be the obvious next choice. While Swalwell was the leading Democratic candidate in most polls, Steyer and former U.S. Representative Katie Porter weren't far behind.
They're all trying to position themselves to make some gains. Porter is for sure. Steyer is buying his way there. His messages are landing.
Alcavon says Steyer's messaging has worked well in advertisements, but not as well when he has interacted with voters. He says none of the candidates have pulled away through their messaging, besides poll leader Republican Steve Hilton.
On messaging, nobody has really emerged other than Hilton, who is saying California needs to do better, be better. And in many ways, California is failing and that we need to fix this. That message is resonating a lot with Californians who are increasingly frustrated at the high cost of living in the Golden State.
However, Alcavon says Hilton's recent endorsement from President Donald Trump could be a double-edged sword, helping him gain support in the primary, but pushing potential anti-Trump swing votes away from him during the general election. Even though he has left the race, Eric Swalwell's name will still appear on ballots in the June primary. With 2 months to go, the race is still very much up in the air. For Annenberg Media, I'm Ava Nichols.
You know you love me, I know you care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be there. You want my love.
Weekend 1 of the 25th Coachella Arts and Music Festival took place this past weekend. The 3-day weekend was filled with music, controversies, and enthusiastic attendees. Ella Dunn has a recap of what happened and what is yet to come for weekend 2 of Coachella.
That was pop star Sabrina Carpenter closing out the first night of Coachella with her hit song Tears. Carpenter, one of this year's 3 main headliners, dazzled festival goers with a Hollywood-inspired set. Despite her larger-than-life performance, a brief interaction Carpenter had with a fan during her show ended up being one of the weekend's most viral moments. During her set, Carpenter mistook a fan's zagruta, an ululation used in some Arab cultures to express joy, for a yodel. During the show, the pop star called it, quote, weird, and asked the person to stop making the noise.
Is that what you're doing? I don't like it. That's your culture, is yodeling? Is this Burning Man? What's going on? This is weird.
The next day, Carpenter apologized on social media, saying, "My reaction was pure confusion, sarcasm, and not ill-intended. Now I know what a zagruta is. I welcome all cheers and yodels from here on out." Saturday's headliner, Justin Bieber, took the stage with many anticipating his return in hopes he would perform his most iconic songs. But his performance was received with many mixed reactions online, with some saying his performance was lackluster. Bieber used a simple set design, sang along to his old music videos on YouTube, and interacted with a live chat feed. His performance featured newer songs from his 2025 albums Swag and Swag 2. Beliebers were still thrilled to hear pieces of his older hits such as Baby and Beauty and a Beat. Bieber even brought out Kid Laroi to sing their 2021 hit song, Stay. Bieber is now the highest paid Coachella performer ever. He will be paid $10 million for his 2 Coachella appearances this year. Closing out the weekend was Karol G, who stepped on stage to give one of her biggest performances to date. Karol G's show, more familiarly known as Coachella, featured all her hit songs and multiple special guests. Her set began with Latina Forever and was followed by hits like TQG and Amargura. Singers Mariah Angelique, Becky G, Puerto Rican rapper Wisin, and guitarist Greg Gonzalez all joined Karol G on stage. One of the most memorable parts of Karol G's set was her duet with Mariachi Reina de Los Angeles. They're the first all-women professional mariachi group in the United States. To close out the weekend, Karol G spoke about being the first Latina headliner in Coachella history and sent a message to her fans.
I just want everyone to feel proud of where you come from, please. Don't feel fear, feel proud, raise your flag, levante esas.
Many fans are left feeling represented and proud of how Karol G used her performance to celebrate Latino culture. With one more weekend left in the desert, fans are looking forward to seeing what the 3 headliners have in store for them next. For Annenberg Media, I'm Ella Dunn.
I'm David Sosa. We're glad you're with us on From Where We Are.
And I'm Malcolm Farrellette. It's 11 past the hour. Coming up, find out why Sprinkles Cupcakes hasn't been sprinkling around campus lately. And we preview this weekend's book festival here at USC. Stay with us.
How do I say goodbye to
The famous Sprinkles Cupcakes ATM located outside of the USC bookstore will no longer be in operation on campus as the business is seeing a drop in locations. Sammy Bovitz has the story.
Sitting next to the USC bookstore's automatic doors is an old, pink ATM machine slowly collecting dust. A small paper sign, held up by clear Scotch tape, announces the ATM is currently unavailable for use. But this is no ordinary machine. For over 10 years, you could get cupcakes instead of cash from a machine like the one at the bookstore. These cupcake ATM machines were run by a company called Sprinkles. If you bought a cupcake from one of the Sprinkles ATMs, you might have heard this as your order processed.
I love sprinkles. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. The best cupcakes in the world. I love sprinkles. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true.
But the Sprinkles ATMs are no longer giving out cupcakes or jingles. Sprinkles declared bankruptcy on New Year's Eve, closing its brick-and-mortar stores and ATMs alike. The Sprinkles machine by the USC bookstore is indeed unavailable forever. I first saw the currently unavailable sign on the machine in February 2024. I was pretty disappointed. I really wanted to show my family this weird pink machine. I was also just confused. So, I contacted the bookstore to ask what was going on. Months of emails followed, where public relations representatives kept saying they would tell me more in a few days. The last email I received was in May of 2024. Here's what they said.
We're still looking into this. I'll let you know when I hear confirmed news.
So, what happened? Are cupcakes even cool anymore?
Our regular 4-box of the chocolate vanilla, vanilla, and our red velvet. Did you need a bag for everything?
Susie Cakes is a chain of cupcake stores founded in 2006, just a year after Sprinkles. Both were riding a cupcake wave of the aughts that has since fizzled. Unlike Sprinkles, though, Susie Cakes is still in business. If the Susie Cakes shop in downtown LA is anything to go by, things are going well. The store is bustling, and the employees are friendly and eager to help.
Mostly when people do come in, they order cupcakes or cookies. Hi, welcome.
That's Leia Binns, who's been working at Susie Cakes for a year and a half. Binns is a pro at dessert slinging, and she understands the market well. She actually brought up Sprinkles before I even got the chance to ask.
Sprinkles actually just closed down, and due to that, we've actually been getting an increase in customers and more foot traffic towards this location just because the downtown LA location for Sprinkles was one of their most popular ones, so now they're trying to gravitate towards new ones.
Susie Cakes wants to make sure former Sprinkles customers flock to them for their cupcake fix. In fact, Binns shared an offer Susie Cakes was giving out just for them.
So we were authorized by Susan herself
Here, Binns is talking about Susan Sarek, who is the founder and CEO of Susie Cakes.
to give previous Sprinkles customers a 4-box of cupcakes. So whenever we would have a customer come in, they'd be like, oh yeah, I used to go to Sprinkles, but now I'm kind of just testing out other bakeries. We are authorized to give them a free 4-box of cupcakes with our more popular flavors.
Now, this promotion might seem a bit aggressive, but remember, a cupcake goes down easier as a dessert than as a business model. With chain stores, local shops, and online order services like DoorDash, the market can get crowded. Of course, that's without even considering rivals in the dessert space. Ice cream shops, for example, often dominate the sunny streets of Los Angeles. It seems like the cupcake boom of the early 21st century has been winding down. One look at USC's dead cupcake machine is a perfect reminder of that. Binns certainly didn't sound happy that Sprinkles closed down, but that's the business, and Susie Cakes needs to capitalize on it.
So right now, as other bakeries are closing down, which is, of course, it's a shame, we're trying to pick up on those customers that they've lost.
If they don't, Binns' cupcake shop, or maybe all of them, could face a familiar problem. For Annenberg Media, I'm Sammy Bovitz.
Butterfly in the sky.
The LA Times Festival of Books takes place this coming Saturday and Sunday at USC, and ARN will be broadcasting live from its booth near Doheny Library. Emma Kahn spoke with the Festival of Books organizer to learn more about how this huge event is put together.
Exhibitor tents began popping up all over the USC campus a few days ago in preparation for the Festival of Books. Chris Conrad, production manager for the Festival of Books, says organizers like to load in early to avoid bothering students.
Being that it's a working campus, we definitely want to work around students and be as little of an inconvenience as we can.
Conrad has been working the Festival of Books for 17 years, and despite working as a manager for other productions, he finds this to be one of the more special ones.
It's different than a lot of other events I do. Like, the atmosphere is different. People are very engaged and happy about it, and come here, and it's a very family-oriented event.
The Festival of Books started in 1996 with the aim of bringing people who love to write books together with those who love to read them. After 15 years at UCLA, the festival moved to USC's University Park campus in 2011. According to Conrad, this has made the production side of things a lot easier.
USC is flat. I don't know if you've been to UCLA, but there's some hills and things that make it a lot more physically demanding, and there's more available space at USC.
According to Conrad, there's a lot of student involvement in the festival. Recreational sports teams volunteer their time to help exhibitors move in, and in return, the festival will donate some money to these clubs. This year, rugby, taekwondo, and the women's water polo team are helping out.
We have several stage managers who work on our stages, are USC alumni or current students. We engage clubs to help with various elements on the volunteer side, but we make a donation to the clubs.
If you're attending the festival, Conrad recommends downloading the LA Times Festival of Books app, which has all the information on the schedules, exhibitors, and more. For Annenberg Media, I'm Emma Kahn.
With the LA 28 Olympics just over 2 years away, the USC Center on Public Diplomacy will host a conversation on broader climate diplomacy featuring Paris 2024 Olympics Director of Sustainability, Georgina Grennan, tomorrow. The conversation will be held in Annenberg Hall, room 106, from noon to 1:30 p.m., also featuring USC Chief of Sustainability Officer Nick Dalrymple. Ahead of the event, Sean Campbell sat down with Grennan to discuss her experience with the Paris 2024 Olympics and approach to climate leadership as a whole.
My name is Georgina Grennan, Sustainability Advisor, Non-Executive Director.
I'll kind of start getting into some of your background. I know you were Sustainability Director for Paris 2024 Olympics. What did that kind of look like? And I know that Olympics in particular has kind of been thought of as a success on the sustainability front especially. What kind of went into making that a success?
This was part of the vision of hosting the Games in Paris. Those Games had to be both spectacular and sustainable. That's just the identity we wanted for our Games. You have to, first of all, understand how an event is normally delivered, what is expected of you, and then try to find different ways of delivering that event that are more sustainable. And that could be in the transportation, in the energy, in the food, in the merchandising, in the constructions, in the digital aspects. So everything that is needed to deliver an event, but do it in a way that emits less carbon, that is more circular, and that protects the nature you're in.
Obviously, being in LA, 2028 is upcoming. What are some things that you think LA 2028, the Olympics, can take from a sustainability perspective from what kind of you and your team accomplished in Paris?
Well, every project is different. Every Olympics is different. Every team is different. So there are some things that actually worked for us, in LA, but also other games that are coming farther, along. They had the chance of experiencing it, of seeing it, that it works. So, we really took it very seriously to leave behind a lot of records, information, etc., so that that could inspire the way that we have been inspired by London and by the other games before us.
So it's kind of a building process, like one games at a time, kind of continuously everyone's building on each other?
Absolutely. I mean, it's like, sports records. They're made to be broken, and we really hope that there are new records beaten in LA.
Looking back at kind of Paris, I know you talked a lot about learning from other people, having those conversations. When you and your team were working on the Paris Olympics, was that a a big part of kind of the way you were doing things? And do you have any specific memories of like maybe how you might have learned from one or two other things to get something going for that?
Oh, yeah, plenty. Imagine my team was built of people who were very committed, knowledgeable about sustainability, but we have never delivered an event, let alone the Olympics. There was no way in which we could change the way things are done if you don't work hand in hand with those who have delivered that before, who know how to do it. And I think that's the essence of a sustainability function, is not to be on one corner just doing, numbers and stuff, is to mingle, is to work hand in hand with those who are in the operations front, and together come up with the new solutions that are going to do the job, but in a more sustainable way and also in a profitable way, right?
Whether it's the Olympics or something else, do you have one or two like technologies or initiatives that kind of stand out to you as kind of exemplifying this idea? The progress doesn't have to cost more.
Yeah, but let's talk about circularity again. It's I always use this example because it's a really funny one. We had to buy, we have to put furniture inside of a village. The village is a new neighborhood. We get the keys empty, so we have to put furniture in it. And that furniture needs to disappear because then we need to give this neighborhood back after the games. It's unlike LA because LA has already campuses that are going to be used as village, but we didn't, so we had to build this village. And then when you think about it, you need, say, beds for athletes to sleep for a few days, a few weeks at most. So when we were out to the market to buy those, we had to tender, we had to do everything by tender. And in the tender, instead of writing, we want to buy 15,000 beds, right? We wrote, we need to buy comfort of sleep for our athletes. So we bought comfort of sleep. We didn't buy the object, right? Which then generated offers that would bring the good into the village, and the good would be taken back after the event, which is what we needed. We needed the thing to come in and then be evacuated from this neighborhood very quickly because end of October, we had to give it empty back.
Obviously, tomorrow you're speaking at Annenberg Hall alongside USC's own Chief Sustainability Officer. What are you kind of excited about looking towards that conversation, whether that's kind of like topics or things you want to discuss or whatever? Like, what are you looking forward to about that conversation?
Well, like in any conversation, it's always exciting to learn, and to share perspectives, to share experiences, and to say that we could retrofit back each other. We could. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity to also learn more about USC and about the initiatives that have been started here, and maybe my turn to share that elsewhere later.
What excites you about getting to talk to a lot of other sustainability leaders, I think was the term that was used. How helpful is that to kind of have those conversations between different sustainability leaders towards making progress?
It's always, as I said, it's always important to learn and to share, because you can inspire each other, you can see how things did work or didn't work. So whatever worked is great. Whatever didn't work is also great to share it, because then you can spare people a lot of time. Don't go this way as wrong, as a dead end, right? Thank God this is a common practice among sustainability professionals, because we like helping each other. We like helping advance this sense of community support, right? And I'm really, really happy to see that this is happening here too. Because that's what gets things going. You don't change things being alone. You change things by being together and working together with other people.
And that's all we have time for on today's From Where We Are. Katie Havens executive produced today's show. Michael Liu produced today's show. We also had help from Daniela Matson and Michael Kong.
Our board operator is Rafael Posto, and our live stream manager is Sela Falcons, and Derek Renfro composed our theme music.
Catch us live on YouTube at Annenberg Radio News, Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Subscribe to From Where We Are, wherever you're listening right now. Finally, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Annenberg Radio. I'm David Sosa.
And I'm Malcolm Farrell. From all of us here at Annenberg Radio, wherever you are, we hope that you'll join us again for
From Where We Are.
See y'all next week. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
you. Have a great day.
What you say?